is on just showing knowledge of the coordinate plane. So the first big chunk of stuff we're gonna do, you should know how to do, or should know is not even doing anything, just knowing something. Okay? When you draw these lines, horizontal and vertical lines, these axes they're called, on a piece of paper, on your iPad, on a chalkboard, okay? The horizontal one is the x-axis. So x's go left and right. And the vertical one is the y-axis. Y's go up and down. Let me write that better. And when you write this set of axes on a piece of paper, on chalkboard, on your iPad, you divide this space into 4 sections called quadrants, okay? Somewhere I've said that, maybe, yes. The axes divide the plane into 4 quadrants, okay? Quadrant 1 is the upper rightmost corner. This is quadrant 1. And for whatever reason, I don't know the answer to this, they write them with Roman numerals. I don't care if you use Roman numerals or just regular numbers. It doesn't matter to me. And then we go counterclockwise. This is quadrant 2. 2.
And then another 4 ones.
And then 3. And then 4. So quadrant 1 and 2. If you don't know Roman numerals, 3 and 4. So the axes divide the space into 4 quadrants. The point at which they meet each other is called the origin. The point where the 2 axes meet each other is called the origin. And basically, it's like 2 sets of number lines. And to the right of the origin are positive numbers, and to the left are negatives, like a regular number line. And above the origin is positives, and below the origin is negatives.
What's the origin?
The point where the 2 are intersecting, right in the middle. Every point that you put on a coordinate plane has 2 numbers associated with it. A coordinate, 2 numbers, an ordered pair. So a pair means 2. Ordered means the order is important. It's important to know which number comes first, okay? Our points on a coordinate plane are written as x, y coordinates, which means the x comes first, the y comes second. So again, every point has 2 numbers associated with this. I am sure you have plotted points on a coordinate plane before today. If you haven't, I'd be shocked. I'm really shocked, okay? So, take a second to see how well you remember. And write the ordered pairs associated with each of those points. You can write it right next to the point if you want, or you can list them like I just did. I don't care. But I'll give you about 2 minutes here. remember that the order that you write them is important. The x comes first, the y comes second. The x is the way the point moves from left to right. The y is the way the point moves from up and down from the origin. All right, let's look at point A. Point A, from the origin, is positive 1 over, because it goes to the right, that's positive, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, up. So my ordered pair for A should be 1, 4. B, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, positive 1, 2, 3. So negative 5, positive 3. C, 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negative 4, negative 6.
What if you flip those?
They're wrong. That's why it's called an ordered pair. The order is important. So it's this way first. X comes first. How many points did it move left or right from the origin? So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it went up or down. That's my Y. 6. It went down 6. That's negative. Okay, D. Now I'm not moving left or right at all. I'm just going down 2. So my X coordinate is 0. My Y coordinate, negative 2. Point E, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right on my x-axis. So X is 4, but I'm not going up or down, so Y is 0. And then F, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For my X, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 5 for Y. So those should be your answers. Now, if you've got those mixed up, you've got them backwards, you counted wrong, you're gonna have a really rough time with this unit, okay? Because we're just talking about plotting points at this point, okay? Which should be knowledge you have already. Okay, conversely, I'm giving you 5 points here. Plot them on this graph. I'll give you about 90 seconds. Put a letter A next to the point when you plot A. B next to B, etc. Remember, X is the first coordinate, Y is the second coordinate. All right, 30 more seconds. All right, point A, negative 4, positive 1. So A, negative 4, positive 1. So X is negative 4. So we're moving this way first, negative, and then positive 1, that's up 1, so that's point A. Point B, negative 3, 0. So to the left, 3, but don't go up or down. So that should be your point B. Point C, 6, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Positive, so that's right. Up is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm right here for point C. Point D, 0, 7. So we're not going left or right. We're just going up 7. Point D should be at the top. And then point E, 2, negative 4. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, positive is above the origin, negatives below, positives to the right of the origin, negatives to the left of the origin. So what is my point at the origin? I should go back up in my notes and say that.
0,
0,
0.
0. That's where my zeros are. That's like where my two number lines meet. That's where my zeros are. Okay, in this unit, we are talking about linear equations, okay? The standard form of a linear equation, ax plus by equals c, not really important for you to know, but what's important to you to know is the definition of a linear equation. So an equation with an x and or a y that has no products or quotients of variables and no powers. Okay, so let's break that down a little bit. Okay, so it can have an x, it can have a y, just x, just y, or it can have both x and y. But no products. So what does that mean? No products means no multiplying of variables. Oh my God, I can't write the word no. No, there we go. So no multiplying variables. That's what products mean. Product is the answer to a multiplication. Product means multiply. No quotients of variables. Quotient means divide. So no dividing by variables. And then no powers. You know what that means, exponents. No exponents. So it can have an x, it can have a y, it can have an x and a y, but it can't have variables multiplied, it can't have variables divided by, and it can't have exponents, okay? So what I want to be able to do is define, not really define, if an equation is linear or not. So yes or no, is the equation linear? So we're going to look at these 8 examples. So, example 1, x equals y minus 5. I don't see any variables multiplied. There's no fractions, so there's not a quotient. And there's no exponents. So yeah, that one's linear. Number 2. I have variables being multiplied. 2 times x times y. That's what 2xy means. That's multiplication. So no, this is not. Oh my gosh. Not linear. It's not going to make a line. The next one. I got an exponent. So no, it's not going to be linear. So again, it can't have products of variables, quotients of variables, and exponents.
Wait, what does this have to do with, like, you know, like plotting lines on a graph?
Because I just want you to recognize what a linear equation is, which is a line. Because we're going to go into graphing lines. That's what we're going to be doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Not today. We're not going to do the lines today, but we're going to go into graphing lines. That's what this whole unit is about, which is going to involve graphing points. So we're going from points into lines. Okay, my next example just has an x, but there's no products, there's no quotients, there's no exponents. So sure, that's a line. The next one, x and y, 12, no products, no quotients, no exponents. Next example. There's a quotient of a variable. A quotient means I can't divide by a variable. So this one is a no. The next one just has a y, but no exponents, no products, no quotients. So yes. This last one's kind of a trick question. X and y, no exponents, no products, no quotients. Now there's a quotient, but not a quotient with a variable in the bottom. So 12 over x, x is on the bottom. That's what makes that no. Y on the top does not make it no. So being able to determine whether or not an equation is linear, okay? So what are you gonna see on your OTL here in just a minute? You're gonna see questions like this. You're gonna have to plot points. You're gonna have to identify points. From the diagram at the top, you need to answer either true, false questions or fill in the blank questions. For example, I could say true or false. The point 2, 3 is in quadrant 2. And that would be false. It's in quadrant, did I say 2? Yeah, it's in quadrant 1, so that would be false. I could say the horizontal axis is the y-axis, and that would be false, because the horizontal axis is the x-axis. I could say the point 5, -4 is in quadrant blank. So 5, -4 would be in quadrant 4. Okay? So using that diagram, I will ask you some true, false, and or fill in the blank questions. Okay? You'll see what it's like on the OTL, so you can see what the quiz will be like. Okay? Okay, some points of clarification anywhere from that.